When we are born, we need someone's help to do simple things to survive. We grew up and became independent. However, when we reach a certain age, we need help with daily activities again. With the advance of medicine, life expectancy has grown considerably in recent decades, and today there are 19 million older adults in Brazil and 66.5 million by 2050. As the population ages, degenerative diseases have increased in society. With these diseases, older people need help with daily activities such as getting around, eating, and taking care of personal hygiene.
Such care requires time, effort, and determination from another person who must have the knowledge and the capacity for the duty.
Currently, 2 million older people have dementia in Brazil, but only 40,000 people are really trained. The count doesn't match.
To meet this demand, there are more than 5 million caregivers without training. Often, the family itself, who despite of being very affectionate with their loved ones, does not know how to perform the activities correctly, putting the patient's health at risk. There are also cases of caregivers who are hired but don't have the training. Let's hear what Adriana, a physiotherapist from the Brazilian Alzheimer's Association, has to say about it.
Está acontecendo um aumento muito grande da demanda, né, desse tipo de trabalho. E aí muita gente que apenas cuidou do avô em casa, resolve que pode exercer como profissão isso. E aí se diz cuidador e vai para a casa das famílias cuidar de idosos que têm patologias, situações, necessidades completamente diferentes daquele familiar que você cuidou e acha que aquele cuidado lhe habilitou como cuidador profissional. Então chega e não tem o mínimo de preparo para aquela função. As falhas são grandes e muitas vezes interferem na segurança do paciente.
Older adults' health should really be taken seriously, as 1 in 3 die after an accident related to falls. Not only should we be concerned with their health, but also with the health of the caregiver, as 70% of them say they feel pain in the lower back, and more than 30% even interrupt their work, thus affecting not only their health but also their income. This is a major problem, as it is estimated that the informal caregivers market is worth $522 billion in the United States alone. During the day, the caregiver needs to transport the elderly from bed to a chair, or the other way around, so that he can eat and bath. For this, the caregiver needs to flex the knees and keep the spine upright, so that when lifting the elderly, he can divide the force between the knees and the lumbar. Thus, the caregiver has more stability in the movement. Caregivers who do not have this knowledge end up forcing the spine and tend to have pain and even herniated discs. Currently, the solution used by caregivers to supply their pain are medication and postural braces, but nothing that really teaches them to perform the correct movements. That's where we created the Herói Cuidador, a solution that ensures the health of the caregiver's lumbar region and prevents the fall of the elderly. The Herói Cuidador is a real-time system that prevents two of the main factors most damaging to the caregiver's spine: poor posture and muscle fatigue. It does this by alerting the caregiver when he performs a movement that can be harmful to his health. Through the Rapid Upper Limb Assessment Physiotherapy Scale, we were able to classify the spine angulation in 4 different levels. We're attacking the most critical level that needs changes in the movement. For the analysis of the muscle activity, The system uses a sample with the last 150 values observed by the EMG sensor to calculate the fast Fourier transform. If the FFT indicates that the amplitude of the signal with greater frequency is above the value established for the user, the system implies a state of muscle fatigue. If there is both muscle fatigue and poor posture, we activate tactical feedbacks on the caregiver's back via motors so he can immediately identify and try to correct the movement. Tactical feedback is ideal because patients with Alzheimer's have reactions to light and sound, so the system should only be perceived by the caregiver. In addition, the collected data is sent to the mobile app by the communication module via the ESP32 Bluetooth. In the app, the identification of movements is integrated into the patient's routine. When the system identifies that there is a wrong movement, it shows which activity was done incorrectly and provides information on how to carry out the movement correctly. In addition, the caregiver can calibrate the belt so it can better adapt to the user's biotype and consequently give more accurate feedbacks. With the calibration, the belt can be shared between different caregivers without losing its accuracy, which improves the use of the system in homes where more than one person takes care of the elderly. The collector device is subdivided into sensing, processing, communication, and feedback modules. The sensing module, which is responsible for measuring the inclination of the caregiver's spine and the activation of the lumbar muscle, are composed by the MPU 6050 and the middleware. After the data is collected, the processing module, composed by the ESP32, performs the data analysis. If both the caregiver's spine angulation is wrong and the muscle fatigue occurs, the processing module sends a command to the feedback module that signals the caregiver while the collected data is sent to the mobile app by the communication module via ESP32 Bluetooth. This system is powered by a lithium battery that can be charged via a micro USB port. In the system's validation, it was considered one of the movements most performed by the caregiver, where he lifts the patient from the bed and places him in a wheelchair. In addition to validate the movement and the effectiveness of the system, we are also able to test the belt's usability. Let's hear from Vanessa what she thinks.
Vanessa Rafaela, tenho 35 anos, eu faço cuidadora de medo. Frio, assunto, muito medo dele cair, né, se machucar. Filtrou, falou, de agora não. Experiência muito boa. Aí eu senti aquela sensação, muito boa mesmo. Aí, ainda estou nervosa ainda, mas muito boa a experiência.
We are a team where all members have relatives with dementia, and we work hard to ensure a simple and easy usability system that solves the problem with elderly caregivers. Our team of heroes is united to help the real heroes of this arduous battle, the caregivers.
Herói, Cuidador, taking care of those who care.